All right, brother. Let's do what we don't want to do. We don't want to admit it, and nobody wants to admit this, especially nobody black who believes in God. And God, I don't care what your faith is. Even though you believe in God, you don't want to admit, but I'm just going to put it out there. Is the black church on its deathbed? I believe it is. I believe that the black church is on its deathbed. What do you say, sir?
Being a black man who was born and raised in the black church, and being somebody who had to go to Sunday school and who had to go to church unless you was dead or close to death. And my mama was the type, God rest her soul, if you ain't in the casket, even though you at church, sit in that pew.
Yeah.
You know, saying all that, I don't want to believe that is dying.
Yeah.
And so I was taught is the one thing that we own, or the only thing really. That's one thing we own, the black church.
I don't know if we own it anymore, because like I was saying before, brother, I mean, if you look in the black neighborhoods, who you see, the black churches are being bought out by the Latino brothers and sisters. They buying them up, and they're getting them for a song. And I think it boils down to the churches. Well, I don't know what it is. I mean, I think it could be a lot of different things. One of the theories I have is that the black church is not able to address the needs of the black community in a way where the community could see it as a viable solution to help in the issues of the community. That's my belief. Because it's the people. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, but it's always been there before. That's where we always went.
Right. Like we was talking about earlier. If you needed a shirt to go just graduate high school, the black church was there. If you was hungry and you needed something to eat, you came by on a Sunday or any day they had something in there. Who fed you? The black church. If you needed something, if you needed to, help with your marriage and help with your, like we were talking about earlier, suicide or something, the black church was there.
And counseling was free. But go ahead. Yes, sir.
Right. But I think that they're having a problem with attracting the younger black men.
No, I'll give you that.
They're having a problem attracting young black men into the church because of the scandals, I think, have rocked the people was already not revering the church like they should because of the music, in my opinion. And this was my opinion. Because of the music and I'm talking about specifically the hip hop music genre, which was hijacked, taken over, and bought and paid for.
Right.
So now you got just Pied Pipers where, these big companies will pay these rappers to encourage promiscuity, gun violence against against only black people, and violence against the black woman. And it's promoted, put to a beat, and so with that out there in the atmosphere, it's difficult for the black church to be out there and say, it's difficult to compete with that, right? It was a time if you went to church, that's where you got the girls, right? You wanted to go to church because they had, they had the best women, the best people. Everything was all good. But the desires of the brotherhood has been manipulated by the music and the media, brother. I mean, I ain't trying to I ain't trying to speak against somebody's hustle, but Love and Hip Hop, that hustle right there, that hurt us, man. That was
The
like two.
TV show.
Yeah, that was like two kicks to the stomach, man. And shows like that along that line, those shows are like two front kicks to the stomach, man. You know, as far as trying to, I mean, because when you see all that drama, the people get to a point where they get a sweet tooth for that drama,
Yeah.
and they consider that to be how life really is, and unfortunately, that's when they start. They don't want to hear the church, right? They don't want to hear no pastor, no preacher telling them nothing. They don't want to hear it. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. When I look around and I see, and then the pandemic hit, and now black people really ain't going to church. I think it's gonna be. I think the black church is in real trouble, brother. I don't know if they recover from this. I don't know. What you think?
Again, being a young man, being an older man that was born and raised in the church, I'm praying to God that that ain't the case. Because if that's the case, where do we run? Where do we go to?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, in the '60s, when the movement was happening, it was the black church that led the movement in our community.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King was a man right out of the black church.
Yeah.
So he was in the forefront of that movement.
Yeah.
And him being in the forefront of that movement, he was a black preacher.
Jesse Jackson.
Yeah.
Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad came out of the church.
Yeah.
Dr. Huey Newton came out of the church.
Yeah.
Jesse Jackson came out the church.
Yeah.
A lot of our people came out the church.
Al Sharpton came out the church.
Al Sharpton came out of church. Yeah.
So if the church is dying, where do we go now? Like you said, you're very right when you said it's not attracting a young black man.
Right.
And so as to I was taught, young black men, like any young black man of any race, men are attracted to strength.
Right.
How they did it, I don't know. They've taken strength out of the church.
Yes.
Why in the world would a young black man want to go to church when he look in the church and ain't nobody strong in there that he see?
Well,
look at the choir director.
Yeah.
That cat ain't strong.
Yeah, but that's the church has those little fine lines that they got to walk. That's one of those little fine lines they got to walk, man. You know what I mean? Like they got to have that cat. You got to have that cat in that position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like
he is the most qualified. Now I give you that.
Yeah, but although he's a contradiction to many of the of some of the tenets of the book, he that's one of the fine lines they got to walk. You know what I mean? They got to deal with that, and just everybody know what's going on, but just don't say nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, I think they are attracted to strength. I think the church has been strong. I just think that it's not the powerhouse that it used to be because there's so many other options out there now. Back in the day, man, the church was the only place we could really go to get together where they wouldn't mess with us. And, now, of course, you can go to the club, you can go here, you can go there, you can go all these other different places and act a fool. And, as long as ain't nobody going to get shot or stabbed, it's all right.
Right.
But the problem is, at least in the church, the black church was always trying to solve some type of problem. They was always trying to solve something or try to help somebody with something. And, they did teach a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but.
Well, like you said, remember you said you watched that show, I forgot the name of that show, man, where I think brothers grandmother was going to church and they had a drive-by shooting. It was in Baltimore. Man, what was the name of that show, man? I forgot the name of the show. And you said when some of the other gang members found out, he was shooting at them, but his grandmother was going to church. He said, man, are you crazy?
Oh, that's The Wire. Yeah.
The Wire.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, that kind of respect
It's like you don't shoot at no
needs to be
black
there.
lady. You don't shoot at no black lady, especially on no Sunday morning. What's wrong with
Right. See, that's
Yeah.
some kind of right. See, that's some kind of respect.
you? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
But
that came
that's
from the
been
top
that's
down. That came from
yeah.
the top down. Yeah.
Yeah. Now see that's been lost.
Yeah.
You know, now where did you lose him? Meaning the black man. Where did you lose him to where, you know, because he's attracted to strength.
Yeah.
He don't watch football for no reason.
Yeah.
Man, especially young black man, he's attracted to aggression.
Yeah.
He don't watch the NBA for no reason.
Right.
He don't watch WWF or, you know, MMA for no reason.
Right.
Because he's born like that. He's attracted to strength.
Right.
So why did you lose him? How did you lose him?
You talking about the
What
church?
happened? No, the young man,
No, I'm
the young
saying,
black man. You lost him. You know, I mean,
but
the
you
church
who
has
you who meaning you lost him, meaning the church lost him?
the church. Yeah, the church
Oh,
lost him.
okay.
How did you lose him?
Okay.
He don't even want to go to church. Is what I'm saying. He don't want to go.
Well, he don't want to go to church because he got other places he can go to get women. Before, when you were going to church and you were a good dude, you had you had your pick of certain types of women. Nowadays, you don't have to go to church. You don't have to have a faith-based, body to be able to try to find women of a certain caliber. You can be a bad boy because that's what's hot. I think the bad boy thing came into existence and it took off in like the late 90s. Well, with the Tupac thing, I think it really, really took off then. With Death Row and all of that, I think the bad boy thing just took off.
Yeah.
And it really haven't looked back. Then when these big major media companies saw the kind of money that could be made with that kind of music, they started investing, started throwing money at these dudes to make records like that. So they virtually suffocated to death the conscious rap, made this rap
Mainstream.
mainstream. Basically say, hey, we gonna give you all this money, but you got a certain circumstances. You can't say you gonna shoot white people. You have to only say you gonna shoot niggas. You can't say you gonna beat up no white woman. You got to say you're going to beat up a bitch, meaning a black woman.
Yeah.
So you got to the only person you can talk about doing violence to is other black people. Now, if you if you following those rules, we're going to give you a ton of money.
Yeah.
But if you start talking crazy and start talking about I smoke these crackers, or I smoke white people, or I smoke this, I do this or that, some type of offensive thing to white people, you're not going to get this money.
Right.
But hey, you can say 15,000 niggas all day. I'm finna kill these niggas. I'm finna shoot these niggas and smoke these bitches. And yeah. And then they go, here you go. Here's your advance. Here's your check. It's all good.
Right.
That was a great song.
Right. You make one reference to a cracker, we're taking you off the air.
We taking you off the air. We're going to dead your career. We're deading you. You can say nigga all day.
Work again.
Yes, you can say nigga all day. We will not stop you. But if you start talking about other people, particularly white people, as far as referring to violence against them, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, unfortunately, the rappers, the people that's involved in the rap game now, they see the formula. They say, hey, look, as long as we, and then they say, hey, I'm keeping it real. If I'm talking about violence against black people, I'm keeping it real.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even realize they're being played.
Right.
manipulated into this situation. But how that refers, in my opinion, how that situation has further exacerbated the situation of no men in the black church crawling around trying to gasping for air is because it can't attract that man like you was talking about, that strength. It can't attract them, and it can't. And then when it does, if it does attract them, it's hard for the black church to put them to. They don't want to do. They don't want to do what's the work in there. You dig what I'm saying? They don't want to do the
Yeah.
work that's there. Like if you go to the black church, you're gonna have to do some sacrificing. Nobody wants to say. We were talking about that earlier. Nobody wants to sacrifice.
No.
Everybody just, hey, you run the race. I'll meet you at the finish line. When they're giving you the cup, I'll come over and I'll hold it up too.
Right. I
Nobody,
take a selfie.
right? But nobody wants to train with you. Nobody wants to have the diet discipline with you. Nobody wants to, do the running. Nobody wants to do all of that to get there.
No.
You know what I
The
mean?
sacrifice, like you said, the sacrifice.
Yeah, I'm talking about black people. I'm talking about black
Yeah.
people. We some kind of way got away from that. And so now, and you know, and I know that's all that's in the black church is sacrificing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all, man. That's all. You see these ladies, man, they sacrifice their whole life to
Yeah.
get these young people to be able to go to a school or go to
Yeah.
do something, right?
Yeah.
Man, today's black youth look at that and say, "You are a fool.
Yeah.
You a fool. I'm
Yeah.
not sacrificing nothing for nobody. I'm getting mine.
Right.
I'm finna go get mine, even if I got to
Right.
plow the whole goddamn black community into the ground. I'm getting mine.
Right.
I'm getting mine.
Right. And I deserve it.
Yeah, and I deserve it. There is no such thing as sold out. There is no such thing. It's only
Right.
eating and not eating.
Right.
So I'm eating. That's it.
Right.
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 And I
Right.
poll people, man. They don't see it. They don't see it. The black church is rolling around gasping for air, brother.
Yeah.
Now the question,
Like I said.
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Your question. Go ahead.
The question is, like you said, where are we going to go for guidance when the church is gone?
Yeah.
Because most of the black churches, I mean, they were addressing the needs specifically of our communities, right? But because they're not able to attract enough black people in there, now they have to open their doors to a multicultural type of following, right?
Right.
Just survival, brother. It's not no knock on them. It's just this is what they got to do to survive.
Right.
Okay, so I'm saying where they gonna go when there is no black church? There is nobody that can address those needs. There is nobody you can go to and say, "I'm hungry. I'm hungry." You used to walk in up the black church, man. You can walk into the black church, man. It's somebody in there gonna fix you a bowl of something.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna give you a biscuit or somebody gonna give you something to eat,
Yeah.
right? That's gone away, brother. It's gone. It's going, rather. I don't know. Maybe you got a city like Atlanta. Maybe it's still some black churches out there, but I mean, out here, I mean, in the rest of the world, we're in Los Angeles, and then when I look around and I try to find black churches, they're getting harder to find. They used to be peppered around here, but now they're getting a lot harder to find. They're getting a lot harder to find.
It seems that the average black church or the small black church, like you said, not only harder, but it's becoming extinct. Now, I don't want to believe that. I was hoping it was just me, but the mega church is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem with the mega church is how do you build relationships when you got 10, 20, 30,000 people. Very hard to build a relationship with somebody. You got that many people coming on one day, on Sunday. It's kind of hard to meet 20,000 people.
Well, I don't think so. They so much as looking at building relationships on that day, as opposed to getting that collection plate around. If you got 30,000 people in there, and let's say a fourth of them is going to give you at least $10, it's not bad. It's not bad. So I mean, you know, it's unfortunately it's a business, and you have to look at it like that. It's not only um, it's not only a passion for some people, but it's actually a business. I mean, it costs money to keep them doors open. It costs money to, you know, it costs money to run a church, man.
Yeah.
Can't be like, oh well, it's it's free, and you know, it's just the Lord's gonna write that check. Who's the check from? Oh, it says the Lord here, $5,000 for the rent. You know, Lord ain't gonna write that check, right? The believers got to write that check, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you got to get people in there, you know. But the thing is, the mega church, I think the mega church will survive the pandemic. I think it's the little churches that's not. It's the smaller churches. I would say, you know, 100 people and under. They're the ones that's going to really struggle to survive this pandemic, because they were struggling before. They were struggling before, and the pandemic just really, you know, just really going to put them out of business, man. As far as I mean, and I hope I'm wrong, but when I look around, I see the Latino brothers and sisters buying up all the black, not all, excuse me, praise it. I see the Latino brothers and sisters buying up a lot of the black churches.
Right.
And they're going away, and they're not relocating. They're just going. They're just gone. You know what I mean? The church is just gone. So I don't know what can be done to save that. I don't know what they can do to well, I know what they could do. They could set up a they'd have to put together a program to aggressively target young black men and pull them in and retain them. They'd have to set up something to do that, but I just don't know how they would do it. I don't know how you would be able to do that, because the young black men today,
how do you even attract him? Because see, one thing about sisters and or women, young or old, see the choir is very attractive to women.
Yeah.
And you know, in the black church, you know, Brother Clarence, nobody give a show like black folks.
That's right.
And black folks give a show no matter what we do.
That's right.
So when you go to church, it's like going to a free concert.
Yeah.
You know, so the sisters or the women, young and old, they love it.
Right.
But that young man, he really was there for the word, if you ask me. The word got him. It was never the music, if you ask me.
Well, in my opinion, it was the access to the sisters that was there. It was and it was the place to be. It was the place to be before the club became the club. You know what I mean? I mean, you could dress up, you could dress nice, you could be in a nice environment, you could meet nice people. You know what I'm saying? And if you got lucky, you might meet a sister that might be, you know, interested.
The one.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could, but you in an environment where everything was good, you know what I mean? As opposed to when you're in a club, you know, you're you know, you're not in your right mind, you're intoxicated, the music is too loud, you don't have, you know, at least the music is loud in the church, but at least they'll stop for a minute and talk to you for a minute. But you know,
right,
man. But you know, when you but the church kind of lost its luster, and then the scandals came, brother. The scandals came.
Yeah.
You know, that stuff like what happened with Eddie Long, man. that right there, I think most men said,
I'm,
that's why I didn't ever want to go to church because I
yeah,
knew that kind of stuff was going on over there.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's it. I'm not going.
yeah,
I'm not taking my son up there. I'm not
yeah,
doing none of that.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's
yeah. That is,
understandable.
yeah, and that's the thing in our community we don't even want to talk about. Like you
Yeah.
said, we have to talk about that if you want to get him back,
Yeah.
meaning that young black man.
Yeah.
Now you got some older men in the black church,
Yeah.
but most of them that's there married, and they there
Yeah.
because she there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why they there because she there. Their wife there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very few older black men, and if he is there single, his wife died.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
of them,
Yeah. And he ain't
you
gonna be
know.
single. He ain't gonna be single long. He ain't gonna be single long, man. Yeah, them sisters ain't gonna let him be single that long.
Right,
Mm-mm.
right. So you know, Brother Clarence, we have to talk about that.
Yeah, but
And our community, we want to be in the black community. We don't want to be seen as homophobic.
yeah,
So we're afraid to even talk about it
yeah,
because nobody wants that label,
yeah, yeah,
you know. But
yeah,
somebody's going to have to stand up and talk about it.
yeah,
I only know one man that's doing it myself,
yeah.
you know. But somebody needs to stand up and talk about it. Besides that one man I know about,
Well, I'm thinking.
nobody else even.
I think
Yes,
it's.
sir.
I think. I know who you referencing, and I think it's more than just him. I think it's other people talking about it, but uh, I think that the most of
Well,
the other. Go
you
ahead.
do know, not to interrupt you, but you do know Mark Jackson got fired from the Golden State Warriors before they became champions
Yeah,
for that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
he refused to take, you know. And I was like, I was very proud of the brother. He refused to change his stance, and I understand.
yeah,
And he's a soft spoken, you know, and the way it was taken, he didn't mean it like that.
yeah. But
It does say that.
he had some other issues going on too.
Oh, he did. Oh, I don't know
Yeah,
about
he had
that.
some other issues going on too. I ain't gonna put his stuff out there, but yeah, he had some other issues going on as well.
Well, hell, who don't? Well, okay, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you know what? You're right. Who don't? Who don't? But I'm saying that was I'm saying that thing with Mark Jackson. What you talking about? That was may have been like kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back
Right.
because he
Okay.
got caught up in a couple of other things too. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So, but to getting back to what I was saying, I know you're talking about, but I'm saying as far as like, I think there's people talking about it, but I think nobody wants to talk about it publicly because of what you're saying, the retaliation that may occur coming back to them, the
Right.
backlash that may come back to them. Like
Right. Right.
if you just say, hey, you know what, this was wrong. This was the way he handled that situation. If you gay, you gay, but you can't be going at young boys. You can't do it the Greek way. You know, the
Right.
Greeks was pedophiles, but you can't. Well, at least that's what their mythology said. Let me.
Right.
I can't say they was pedophiles because I wasn't there. I can tell you what they mythology points to the fact that they were grown men were sleeping with young boys,
Right.
with pre-adolescent boys.
Right.
That's what that is a fact. So
Right.
so so I'm saying, and the Romans as well.
Right.
That's but that was okay back then. That was
Right.
legal back then. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It was all good back then.
Right.
But now you in a place where we understand now you can't do that with young men or girls, boys or girls. You can't do that with
Underage. Right.
underage because they don't have a chance. You're not giving them a chance to develop enough to where they can make their own decisions.
Right.
You kind of forcing them into a situation where they have to kind of,
Right.
accept it the
Go
way
along.
they go with the program, and that's not good.
Right. Right. Right.
I feel like but that's the thing, man. It's the scandals, man. It's the scandals, and scandals. People put scandals out for a reason. they either want some money, or they trying to unseat get power, or they try to, bring somebody down. Usually, there's a reason why somebody put out a scandal like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just feel like it's tough. Just like the same thing with the Boy Scouts, right?
Right.
My mother used to try to get me to go into the Boy Scouts. I was like, I ain't never seen no Boy Scout act normal. I never saw one. I was like, man, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like them dudes.
Right.
I was looking at them dudes, man. She's like, yeah, this dude, he's in the Boy Scouts. So I'm looking at this dude. I'm checking him out head to toe, man. I'm like, it was one of my mother's friend's sons. I was like,
something ain't right.
Yeah, man. Something ain't right with these cats, man.
Yeah.
I could just see it, man. Yeah. I was like, man. Nah. She's like, you ain't join the Boy Scouts like them. I was like, nah, man. Nah.
Something ain't right.
Something ain't right there, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was like, but I didn't know how bad the situation was. I just knew I didn't want to act like those cats, man. I didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm saying that to say how scandal could just break everything apart, man. Just boom, just break everything apart. It's like the Catholics, man, the Roman Catholics.
Yeah.
They gotta sell $1 billion worth of real estate, man, just to pay off all of these cats, man.
Yeah.
This ain't my opinion, brother. This is just facts, man.
Yeah.
They had to sell off $1 billion worth of property. Just to say, okay, once we do this, we're done with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, here, we're putting this money to the side for whoever wants to claim it, and that's it. We're done with it. You can't come to us and try to sue us about this no more. Right? But getting back to the black church, man. Who's going to breathe life into it? Who?
Right now I have no, because I can't argue with you when you say, I know it's not attracting a young black man. He's gone. I know that. Yeah. I don't even know about young sisters. Like I said, if they go, in my opinion, they like to see a concert. And everybody love God, especially black folks love God.
Yeah.
It's just that, like I said, with young folks, the church is just not that attractive.
Yeah.
It's not offering. You might get that sister in there, that young sister. That brother, he's gone. Can't get him.
Yeah.
Like you said, that scandal, like you said, with Long and nah, man.
Oh, there's many other ones, many other ones, but
it needs to be discussed.
Yeah,
like that won't be tolerated. That needs to be said publicly. That won't be tolerated.
Yeah, but can you, like you said, can you say it? Because if you say something like that, you're gonna get the flack from hey, you're homophobic because you said that.
Yeah, a silly label.
Yeah.
And we just have to stand up as a community. I mean, we do it now.
With what?
I mean, they want to put on us reverse racism. We can't even be racist. So if we can stand that, surely I think we can stand being called, homophobic. In my opinion, we can take that.
Well, most of the people don't want to be called homophobic, man, because that has economic consequences. So nobody really wants to be called homophobic. They'd rather be, I love everybody. Ain't that what they say in the black church?
Yeah.
I love everybody, right?
And then they tell you Jesus said that. And Jesus never said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll show you a verse, and Jesus said, love those who utterly despise you. Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
But that didn't mean somebody cracking you upside the head. You love them for it. It didn't mean that.
Well, help us, Brother Jarvis. What does it mean?
When it comes down to us as a people, like I said, even staying with the subject of, the black church dying or staying alive, you have to understand, which has never really been talked about, really, that what happened to us, and a whole lot happened to us.
Yeah.
Yes,
sir.
And when you say, what does that mean? You know, if somebody's doing harm to you, it doesn't mean if somebody's doing harm to you when Jesus said that you love them for it.
Okay.
That don't make sense.
Okay.
You don't see the gazelle laying down and letting the lion eat him. That don't happen.
Yeah.
You don't lay down, oh, the lion hungry, so I guess I should just lay down and let him eat me. No,
Yeah.
no, and don't be silly with that. Like you say, you gotta love everybody. Jesus didn't mean that. You don't love somebody trying to do you harm.
Yeah.
So, that's what I mean by that. That's just a little example with the gazelle and the lion. You just gonna the gazelle don't lay down. You run.
Yeah.
Trying to preserve his life.
Yeah. If he could pick up a stick, he'd pick up a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jesus did say,
Yeah.
pray for those who utterly despise you. Yeah, you're right. Pray for them. But if they put their hands on you,
Yeah.
man, please.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You don't love them for it.
Yeah.
I love you for in the 60s, like they did in the 60s. I love you for sticking that dog on me. You don't love nobody for that.
You know what was always a funny thing to me, man? This is the thing that I couldn't wrap my head around. Is I would think that, man, like you were breaking stuff down a little bit deeper, and how we didn't really have things broken down to us deeper when as far as Christianity or religion or whatever. Because if I'm a slave and this person is the master and they whipping me every day, or they are putting pressure on me every day, I got the unspoken pressure of knowing that if I don't comply, it may not be me that meets violence, but it may be one of my relatives or siblings or something like that meet violence that may be taken out on them as a lesson. So, but if they tell me, hey, when you die, you're going to heaven. And see, now maybe that's why they're not getting a black man too, because maybe nobody's breaking down things in a more sensible way, in a way where they can understand it. Because if you tell me somebody's enslaved me, I'm going to be in the same heaven with them. And at the end of this thing, we're going to be all holding hands. Me with the whip marks on my back, and him just standing, and we're going to be holding hands dancing.
Yeah, he unmarked.
He unmarked, and he's saying, "Hey, I whipped your, you know what, when we was on that plantation, but now that we're in heaven together, I love you."
Yeah,
I think simple misunderstandings like that need to be addressed and broken down so that the Bible can seem congruent to them, because right now it seemed like a lot of contradictions. And so it's easy to say, oh yeah, it's a lot of contradictions in there. It's easy to say that if you are not, you don't have to, in other words, you don't have to study no more. You don't have to study on your own and say, you know what, brother, let's get into a discussion about this. Now this says this, and this, and what do you think, and what do I think, and what do you think? You don't have to do that no more. You got a fast get off the hook card by saying, oh, there's so many contradictions there, I don't have to study that. Oh, okay. But you should still know it. You should still know what's at any length of time, because you might have to be able to discuss that, or you might have to be able to put that into action, or you might have to know that. What I'm saying is that's I think that's another reason why. See, most men are focused on logic. Most men are focused on logic. If something seems illogical, they're gonna be like, man, that don't make no sense to me. So if you're telling me I'm a child of God, you telling me this person that's whooping my behind is a child of God, or if we're both his children, why is it okay for this child to whoop me or subjugate me? Why is it okay? That shouldn't be okay, right?
Not only should not it be okay, but really, how just is God?
There you go. That's my point.
I got marks on my back. We in heaven. You ain't got no marks on your back. You whooped me, but what? God just forgave you, or
Yeah.
God wanted me to get whooped? What kind of God is this?
Yeah, and it's all good now. It's over. It's done.
Did you telling me I'm supposed to love everybody? And we say that?
So, but I'm saying that because there's not no extensive breaking down of these things. That's, I think, what it seems to them like. This is crazy. This is not making no sense here.
Well, you know what? Now you're right on subject, because see, that's another thing too with the young black man.
Yeah,
That old school preaching, because it ain't teaching.
right.
That old school preaching, he don't understand. He looking at you like, what's wrong with this cat? That don't work no more. Yeah, you get the high pitched voice, you bring it down, and the organ get the playing. You done lost him. You know why you lost him? Because he can go into his laboratory on his computer and make a better beat than that.
Yeah.
Like, man, that don't even sound good no more.
Yeah. Hold on. All right. Yeah, brother. But that's what I'm saying. See, they're like, hey, I'm about dollars and cents. If you ain't talking about no dollars and cents and you ain't talking in a straight line, I ain't got no time for you.
No.
So when you start twisting and turning, we're saying, well, Lord, the Lord doesn't like evil, but if you do evil, you good. If you do, and it doesn't, the way I think some of the time the way they explain it, and it without further breaking it down into an understandable way where they can say, oh, okay, you can reconcile some of this stuff, then I think you'd be more likely to get those younger brothers. And then also, again, here's a big one. I'm going to throw a big one at you, brother. We not in the house. The father's not in the house, brother.
No, he's not.
So he's not in the house. So your example of how to follow a program and be disciplined in following a program of how to live and how to conduct your life is not there. So who is there? The dope cats on the corner, the pimps, the hustlers, and you can seek out whoever you want to seek out. Then you got stuff like Love and Hip Hop, where they show the dudes, they show just the absolute craziness of black people, and you see all these dudes, and the more crazier they act, the more women they get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The saner they act, the less women they get, and the crazier they are, the more women they get. So they say, hey, I got to be a total fool.
Yeah.
How can you get somebody that's come into church with that? You can't.
Yeah.
You got Lil Wayne. He got more fans. He got more fans than the church does.
Yeah.
I bet you he got more fans than any church, Instagram or Facebook or whatever. He got more followers than any of them.
Yeah.
Now,
Look at
Go ahead.
Look at just another example of like Lil Wayne, and I don't understand the look. You got Tekashi 6ix9ine. I was looking at some little documentary on him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're a very dangerous man when you admit that, you know what, I will do anything to become famous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, are you a man or a woman?
Yeah.
You colored your hair that color, you're looking like a little woman.
Yeah. But you see,
I mean, he changed his style so many times, man. I mean, he went so far as to when that didn't work, he even started hanging out with gangbangers. He stole our car. I mean, even though he's Puerto Rican, he is black. Black is
Yeah.
not a color. But okay, uh, he was promoting sex from the documentary at first.
Yeah.
Then when they got brung up on charges of pedophilia,
Yeah.
although he said he had nothing to do with it,
Yeah.
you turn to the gangbangers.
Yeah.
Okay, which is very attractive again to young black men. This goes back to the young black man.
Yeah.
But I don't know for the life of me, because I know a sister whose daughter was attracted to Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
Meaning that shit, oh, I like him. I'm like, you do?
Yeah.
He looked crazy. I don't even know if he's a man. I mean, I know he's a man, but
Yeah.
and for him to say I would do anything, I was going to do anything to become famous.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
I don't trust a man like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Saka Zulu said, "You a man with no nation."
Right.
You do whatever you got to do and roll with whoever you got to roll with just to get by. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you got to kill me tomorrow, you got to kill this person. You'll do it.
Right. Right. And like you said, going back to Lil Wayne, how do you attract the young black man when he's looking at Lil Wayne? He looked crazy, and women flocking all over him.
Well, that's how you attract the black men. See, black men is not these young men. They don't, like we were talking about, where the father's not in the home, so they don't have a reference point. They don't have a reference point to say this is out of order, right? Right? Because you and me, we had a father in the house. Man, they call you a punk for just putting an earring in your ear. Right?
Yeah.
So you had a standard you had to. There was a line you had to toe. At least living at their house, there was a line you had to toe, right? These cats ain't got no line to toe, man.
I mean, if you seen this cat, Tekashi 6ix9ine, I'm like, you got multicolored hair. I don't care about long hair because I like dreads myself, but you wearing your hair in the hairstyle of a girl.
The youngsters, they only see that you getting women. That's what they see. Results.
Yeah.
They don't care nothing about how you did it. They just see results. Your results. He colored your hair and all of that, but you got honeys. You got money. You got honeys. That's all that counts to the young dude, because they can't see. They can't see what's behind all that. You know what I mean? They can't see the effects of what's behind all that. It's going to take them about 10, 15 years before they go, oh, that wasn't such a good move this dude made.
Right.
But they can't see it now because they like, man, he got honeys, I want honeys. He got money, I want money.
Yeah. And how do you make a strong man, black man? How do you make him attractive? You would think, well, it's all on the woman. If in the church, if the sisters would turn around, I tell sisters this all the time. If y'all would turn around and just like, ooh, that man in that suit in that church walking with his hat on, you know what we'd do? We put on that suit hat.
Yeah,
we'd do that because that's what y'all like.
But that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. You know why? Because they are a reflection of us. So they are going to follow us. It's the reverse of what you're saying. If we would say, I don't want you to have a wig down to your ankles, that's not attractive to me. Then we could stop that.
Yeah.
Right? We could put a stop to that. Or you being a conniving, so and so. That's not cute. I know in love and hip hop that's cute, but that's not cute. A real man is not gonna want somebody like that in his life.
No.
A real man ain't gonna want that.
No.
That's why. But I'm not even gonna go there. I was going to say something. I ain't gonna even go there. But I'm saying, a real man ain't gonna want that kind of stuff in their life. But it's us, brother. It's us. If, in my opinion, if we black men would tighten up and we would say, no. It's just like the single mother argument, where people say, well, it's too many single mothers. There's only too many single mothers because there's so many black men making them. if we would stop, if we would stop being involved with activity that creates single motherhood, it would dry up, and then we stop approaching them for relationships. Boom, it would dry up because people would say, "I'm not going to be in that situation." Right? I was watching this thing about these Japanese women. Man, it was Japanese. It was like, man, ain't nothing happening with me, man. I'm not gonna be no single mother out there because I know what's gonna happen to me. No, they just like it's like they it would not get down. But I'm saying all that to say, it's us. If you took black men and you said, okay, look, let's create a standard for the type of woman we're gonna deal with. If we and you know who really should step up? I'm gonna tell you who really should step up. Now you got me being loose, brother Jarvis. I'm really gonna tell you who should step up. Good black dudes. No, really. Because you know who gets beat down, broken down women? Good black dudes.
Yeah.
In the end, the good black dude is the ass. See, when a girl is young and she fine and she can go and get any man she want, who do they pick? The knuckleheads, right?
Yeah.
And the knuckleheads beat them up, beat them down, tear them apart, just rock them, rock their confidence, rock their self-esteem, rock everything.
Right.
Beat up their finances, beat up everything.
Right.
Drop a couple of children and abandon them. Right?
Right.
Then she finally said, hey, you know what? I'm going back to church. I'm going back to church and get saved and sanctified. Because I don't need to be out here like this, living like this. Now I realize what my mom was trying to tell me. She go back to church. Who's there? And who's she looking for? Good dudes. She on the prowl for a good dude, so a good dude can try to have something to do with, try to clean up the mess that was made, right?
Right.
But see, if we took good dudes and say, hey man, you can help this lady. Try to help her get a place to stay and help her, but don't get yourself romantically in there. Try not to do that. Unless you see something very special qualities in this woman, don't do that.
And she's really done a 180, and she really can see.
Exactly, man. And you can see, you should see, like I told my son, man, you should be able to see God in you, and she see God in you.
Right.
He's like, how do I know when I find somebody who's right for me? I said, brother, you ain't gonna have to know. She'll know.
Yeah. She
gonna hear your voice and say, that's him.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna be looking at you. She gonna say, that's him.
Right.
That's who I've been looking for.
Right.
Right? I know I had it happen to me. I know it happened to you.
Right.
Hey, that dude's saying everything I've been thinking.
Right.
I know it.
Right.
That's the one. That's
right.
the one. Right? But that's what's gonna happen, right? But I'm saying the same thing when the good dudes, they need to start having a standard by which they say, hey, look, you know what? Unless this person is operating at this level where I can see God in her, and I see it.
Right.
I know that I can tell that this person has transformed themselves into something, just beyond just a regular sister. Man,
right.
Then it's worth
right.
it. It's worth exploring.
Right.
But I'm saying you just because you looking for companionship and you just to say, well, hey, I'm gonna just get involved with this person. No, man, you gotta have a standard. We gotta have a standard. But if we did that, as a whole, we made a move like, hey, we are not going to clean up this mess anymore. Okay, you want to date all these knuckleheads? Go ahead and date them. Don't look me up on Facebook 10 years from now. Don't do it.
Right.
And I'm not going to accept you as a friend. I'm not going to accept you as nothing.
Right.
I don't care how you may still have your looks. That's cool, but you got them babies and that bad
Right.
credit. I'm not going.
Right.
I'm not dealing with that.
Right.
You know, because that's just bringing drama to my door, my front steps.
Right.
You know what I
Another
mean?
problem. Another problem with that too is, in a lot of ways, she want to be the head. In other words, you need to fit in my program. And
Right,
like in reality, it should be like, no, you need to fit in with my program.
right,
And even it depends on the circumstances too, because I know a circumstance to where his sister had to take care of her mother and her father.
right.
And, brother was a pretty good brother, man, but I can't leave my mother and father. Well, he was never going to have her to do that.
Right.
But had you stuck with him and, just listen to what he had to say instead of like, nope, I got to find somebody who's going to fit in with this right here. And if you don't fit in this hole right here, you gone. It's like, wow, that's the problem.
Now, who told who that?
No. She didn't say it, but the brother who she was with, it was a good brother. She had to find somebody who would fit in that hole. In other words, this is how it is right here, A, B, C, D.
Yeah,
And instead of listening to the brother, who was a good brother, man,
yeah,
all you had to do was listen to him, and
yeah,
y'all could have made it. But
yeah,
the whole thing was, no, I need you to fit in right here.
yeah,
And it's like, no, I mean, he was gonna go. The brother was gonna go along with the program, but he had a better idea on how we gonna do this.
yeah,
It was more logical
yeah,
if you was really into him. But
yeah.
you wasn't really into him. You was what she was into was who's gonna follow this right here.
Right, right.
You know,
And that's
you,
an issue.
you didn't, like you said, you didn't love the man.
Yeah, yeah,
You didn't love him like like you really needed to in order for it to work.
yeah,
Because when it's real love, Brother Clarence, it'll work when it's real.
yeah,
I don't care what the circumstances are.
Yeah.
It'll work.
yeah,
That don't even matter.
yeah. People can make it work. People can make stuff work if they
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
If they
But
really
you
want
coming
to.
off like, it's all about how everything work around your program. To me, you destined to be by yourself. But you want to be though, because you want to be the man and the woman.
I don't know if they want to be by themselves. I think they just want to be in control. I think they want to be able to just control the situation. And if they're not, but see, what they don't understand is, man, as you get older, it's going to be less dudes that's going to be going for stuff like that. So you're going to find yourself out there by yourself because who's going to really invest that kind of, say, oh, I'm going to follow your program. If your program is crazy and they can see it's crazy,
Right.
who's going to do that?
Right. Or your program worked for you, but it don't work for him.
Yeah.
But it worked for you.
I would say, hey, man, go ahead and work your program. I'll find somebody else.
Yeah.
I'll find somebody else. No problem.
Yeah.
But
it worked for you.
A lot of times our people, man, these young brothers are just scared, man, like you said, man. They get a woman, man, and it's the first woman that actually open up, actually want to do some stuff to them that ain't never happened to them before. And they be like, man, I'm indebted to this girl for this. I have to put up with this stuff because I may never find another person that can do this stuff again. Hey, newsflash, they all do it. They all do it. They all do it. And if you with one of them that don't do it, leave.
Yeah.
Why you ain't have to be indebted to nobody for doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but hey, man, let's end this. Let's end this one right here, and if you got time, let's talk about another topic.
Yes, sir. All right.
Okay. All right.